Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Rotoballer Radio Waiver Wire Series. I'm your host, Anthony Aniano. Happy to be with you here with a look at the waiver wire for Week 3 of your fantasy football season, taking a look at the tight end position. Full disclosure, recording this Sunday evening before the Sunday night games to get you an early look at the Week 3 waiver wire. Taking a Yahoo roster percentages, trying to keep it at or below 50%. Okay, some of the tight ends we talked about last week kind of busted. Taysom Hill, I said it last week. He was on my list, but I also said it. Don't fall in love with those 4 carries for 81 yards, skewed by that one big long run. He was a non-factor this week and not on any lists of mine. So at number 5 at the tight end position, and it gets thin at the back end of this list. So at number 5, Baltimore Ravens rookie Isaiah Likely. He was a late training camp darling. People fell in love with him. Okay, the wide receivers were concerned. And Likely has been involved. He's been targeted 9 times now through the first 2 games of the year. Now, he didn't have a catch week 1, but he did have the 4 targets. In week 2, he had 8.3 fantasy points, 4 catches, 43 yards on those 5 targets. He's only 6% rostered. So if you need to add tight end depth with upside, the rookie does have it. Week 3 against the New England Patriots. At number 4, Miami Dolphins tight end Mike Gesicki, 27% rostered. A little surprised by how low that was, but then I thought about it and said, we have done the Mike Gesicki ride before in the past year. We've gone up, down, and all around, and usually we end up disappointed, but he did have a nice game in week 2 in that Miami comeback against the Baltimore Ravens. 4 catches, 41 yards, and gets in the end zone to finish with 14.1 fantasy points. Week 3, though, a tougher matchup, I think, for that Miami offense as they go against the Buffalo Bills. At number 3, Jacksonville Jaguars tight end Evan Ingram. Somebody I loved in the preseason. I've talked about him before. He was Trevor Lawrence's leading target monster in week 2. Christian Kirk got in the end zone, but Evan Ingram was targeted 8 times, caught 7 of 8 for 46 yards, 11.6 fantasy points. And the targets and the catches have been consistent weeks 1 and 2. Now, 11 catches on 12 targets so far this season, but only 74 overall yards. He's got 18.4 fantasy points on the season, so about 9.2 fantasy points per game. But a tight end averaging 6 targets a game is someone to pay attention to, and Evan Ingram sits at 20% rostered. At number 2, I mentioned him last week again, and he paid off this week, Logan Thomas of the Washington Commanders. This Washington offense looks good. Carson Wentz getting multiple players involved out wide and at the tight end position. Logan Thomas, 5 targets, 3 receptions, 37 yards, but gets in the end zone. That's what he's best at. It's what he was best at before he injured his knee last season. 12.7 fantasy points. He's averaging 10 fantasy points a game. Only 6 catches on 11 targets, 82 yards, and a touchdown. But again, coming off that knee injury, getting healthier, and getting more involved in that Washington offense week after week. And my number 1 tight end ad of the week, John Cougar Mellencamp said it years ago. Come on, baby, make it Hurst so good. Sometimes Hurst don't feel like he should. Hayden Hurst of the Cincinnati Bengals, only 16% rostered, but he has been a target monster for Joe Burrow and Cincinnati. 10 receptions, 15 targets on the season. 7 targets this week. Now, wasn't for a lot of yards. 5 for 24. He's only got 70 yards on the season. But this early in the year, I love the targets when the tight ends are being targeted often. Hayden Hurst, even with Chase. T. Higgins rebounding from the concussion. Okay, Hayden Hurst is his 3rd target. He's more targets than Tyler Boyd has. He's averaging 8.5 fantasy points per game. I expect that to go up as he catches more passes and those targets remain viable. 7.5 targets a game on the season right now for Hayden Hurst. So in recap, at the tight end position, number 5, Isaiah Likely of the Baltimore Ravens. Number 4, Mike Gesicki of the Miami Dolphins. Number 3, Evan Ingram of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Number 2, Logan Thomas of the Washington Commanders. And my number 1 tight end ad of the week, Hayden Hurst, 16% rostered of the Cincinnati Bengals. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for more waiver wire content, stay right here on Rotoballer's YouTube channel or head over to rotoballer.com now. Sign up for the premium pass using that promotional code ACES. Save yourself 10% at discount and get all sorts of great Week 3 preview content, including more waiver wire work. Don't forget, follow me on Twitter at Aniano Fantasy. Good luck in Week 3, everybody, and thanks for listening to Rotoballer Radio.